What if the tool that many people once thought was only part of science fiction is now quietly sitting in your phone, helping businesses make billions, changing how students learn, and even shaping the future of jobs you have not even thought about yet? That is the big question today. What is AI really? And why is everyone talking about it like it is the next biggest thing in the world? You have probably heard the word AI everywhere. You hear it in YouTube videos, you see it in news headlines, you hear people talk about it in schools, offices, business meetings, and even at family dinners. Some people are excited, some are confused, some are scared, and many people are all three at the same time. AI has become one of those topics that almost nobody can ignore now. It feels like it showed up overnight. But the truth is, AI did not suddenly appear in one day. It was growing quietly in the background for years. Now it has reached a point where normal people can see it, use it, and talk about it every single day. That is why this topic matters so much. And by the end of this video, you will understand what AI really is, why it became such a huge topic so fast, how it is already part of your daily life, and why the people who understand it early may have a big advantage in the future. So stay with me, because near the end of this video, I will also share a very simple way to think about AI that will make this whole topic feel easy, clear, and much less scary. Let us start with the basic truth. Most people hear the words artificial intelligence and instantly imagine robots that talk like humans, machines that think on their own, or futuristic cities where computers control everything. Movies have trained us to think that way. When many people hear AI, they picture shiny robots walking around, taking over jobs, or becoming smarter than humans. That image is dramatic, and it gets attention, but it also creates a lot of confusion. Because in real life, most AI does not look like a robot at all. In fact, most AI is invisible. You do not always see it. You just see what it does. It suggests the next video you may like. It helps your phone understand your voice. It filters spam emails. It recommends music. It helps online stores guess what you want to buy. It can translate languages, answer questions, write text, and even help doctors study health reports. So if you have been thinking AI only means a human-like robot, that is the first myth to break. AI is not just robots. AI is a set of computer systems designed to do tasks that normally need human thinking. Now that sounds important, but it may also sound a little too formal. So let us make it simple. Think about the kinds of things humans do with the mind. We recognize faces, we notice patterns, we understand speech, we make choices, we solve problems, we learn from past mistakes. We predict what may happen next. AI is about making computers do some of those kinds of tasks. Not all of them, not perfectly, but enough to be useful. That is the key idea. AI is not magic. It is not a brain inside a box. It is not a living thing. It is a human-made system built to copy certain parts of human intelligence in a useful way. That is all. Once you understand that, the whole topic starts to feel less mysterious. But if AI has been around in some form for years, why are people suddenly talking about it now like it is a revolution? That is where things get interesting. The reason is simple. AI has moved from the background into the front of everyday life. For a long time, AI was mostly hidden inside apps, websites, and business systems. It was working behind the scenes. Big companies used it. Tech experts talked about it, but the average person did not think much about it. Then something changed. New tools made AI visible to normal users. Suddenly, anyone with a phone or laptop could type a question and get a smart-looking answer. People could create images with a few words, they could write emails faster, they could summarize long text in seconds, they could ask for ideas, scripts, plans, jokes, study help, and much more. That made AI feel real to everyone, not just experts. And when something powerful becomes easy to use, people start paying attention very fast. That is exactly what happened. AI stopped being just a tech company tool. It became a public tool. And once the public gets access to a powerful new tool, the noise begins. Some people call it the future. Some call it dangerous. Some say it will save time. Others say it will replace workers. Some believe it will create huge business chances. Others believe it will make fake content and confusion spread even faster. And all of these reactions, whether positive or negative, push the topic even more into public conversation. That is why AI is now everywhere. It is not only because the technology is improving, it is because people can now feel its impact directly. Think about how many major changes in life become real only when normal people start touching them. The internet existed before many people used it daily. Smartphones existed before they became part of every pocket. Social media existed before it began shaping culture, business, and politics. In the same way, AI existed before this moment. But now it has entered the public stage. Now it is in the hands of students, creators, workers, business owners, teachers, marketers, designers, programmers, and everyday users. That is why you hear about it all the time. It has crossed the line from specialist technology to everyday conversation. Another reason everyone is talking about AI is because it connects to something people care deeply about: the future. Humans are always interested in anything that may change how they live, work, earn, learn, and survive. AI touches all of those things. That is what makes it such a powerful topic. If a new tool only changed one small part of life, people would care less. But AI seems to touch everything: education, healthcare, business, art, writing, video creation, customer service, research, transportation, security, shopping, entertainment, even dating apps and social media feeds. When one technology starts showing up in almost every area of life, it becomes impossible to ignore. And when people cannot ignore something, they start asking questions. Big questions. Will AI take jobs? Will AI help people become more productive? Will AI make learning easier or harder? Will it increase creativity or reduce it? Will it help doctors find diseases faster? Will it make online lies and fake videos worse? Will children grow up depending too much on machines? Will workers who do not learn AI fall behind? These are not small questions. These are life questions. That is why AI is not just a tech topic anymore. It is a human topic. Let us look at something important here. Whenever a big change happens, people react in two strong ways. One group becomes overexcited. They think the new thing will fix everything. The other group becomes overly afraid. They think the new thing will destroy everything. We saw this with the internet. We saw this with social media. We saw this with smartphones. And now we are seeing it with AI. One side says AI will make life easier, help people work smarter, and unlock huge growth. The other side says AI will remove jobs, spread false information, and weaken human skills. The truth is usually somewhere in the middle. Most major tools do both good and bad things. What matters is how people use them, how fast they spread, and whether society builds rules and habits around them in time. That is why understanding AI matters so much right now. Not because everyone needs to become a programmer, not because every person must become a tech expert, but because when a tool starts changing the world, people who understand it even a little are usually in a much better position than people who ignore it. If you understand what AI is, what it can do, and what it cannot do, you can make smarter choices. You can use it better. You can avoid fear that comes from confusion. You can see chances others miss. You can protect yourself from hype, scams, and false promises. And most importantly, you can take part in the future instead of just watching it happen from the side. Now, maybe you are wondering, is AI really that big of a deal? Is it really changing that much? The honest answer is yes, but not always in the dramatic movie way. AI is changing things in quiet ways and loud ways at the same time. Sometimes it changes a full industry. Sometimes it just saves a worker 1 hour a day. Sometimes it helps a student understand a hard topic. Sometimes it helps a business answer customers faster. Sometimes it helps a creator come up with ideas. Sometimes it helps detect unusual bank activity. These small changes may not look huge on their own, but when millions of people use them every day, the effect becomes massive. That is another reason AI is such a hot topic. It is not only powerful for experts, it is useful for ordinary people. A business owner may use AI to write product descriptions, a student may use it to understand a lesson, a designer may use it to brainstorm ideas, a programmer may use it to speed up code writing, a marketer may use it to organize campaigns, a person with a busy life may use it to summarize long information, a traveler may use it to translate signs or messages. The technology spreads faster when it helps many different kinds of people, and AI does exactly that. But there is also another layer to this conversation. Many people are not only excited about what AI can do now, they are thinking about what it may do next. That future feeling creates even more attention. When people believe a technology is still in the early stage, they start imagining the next 5 years, 10 years, or even 20 years. They wonder what will happen when the tools become better, cheaper, faster, and more normal. This creates both opportunity and fear. The people who are excited imagine better healthcare, easier learning, smarter tools, and huge business growth. The people who are worried imagine job loss, privacy problems, lazy thinking, and a world full of machine-made content that is hard to trust. Both sides keep talking. And the more they talk, the bigger the topic becomes. Something else also matters here. AI is not just a trend pushed by social media. It is also being pushed by money, power, and competition. Big companies are investing huge amounts into AI. Startups are building around it. Countries are paying attention because they know technology can affect economic power. Schools are trying to understand how it changes learning. Companies are asking workers to adapt. Investors are watching closely. Creators are testing it. News channels love covering it because it mixes money, fear, hope, and future change all in one story. And when money, jobs, media, and public curiosity all meet in one place, that topic becomes massive. You can almost think of AI as the center of many different conversations happening at once. One conversation is about technology, another is about jobs, another is about creativity, another is about ethics, another is about education, another is about business growth, another is about truth and trust online, another is about power between countries and companies. All of these conversations connect back to AI. That is one reason the noise around it feels so big. It is not one topic. It is many topics joined together. Now let us slow down and make this even easier. If someone asked you right now in the simplest possible way, what is AI? You could say this. AI is when humans build computer systems that can do some tasks that normally need human thinking, like understanding words, finding patterns, making suggestions, or solving certain problems. That simple idea is enough for a strong beginning. You do not need fancy words to understand AI at a basic level. In fact, fancy words often make simple ideas sound harder than they really are. People sometimes think they are too late to understand AI because it sounds too technical. But that is not true. You do not need a deep computer science background to understand the big picture. And the big picture is what matters most for most people. AI is a tool, a very powerful tool. It learns from information, it follows patterns, it gives outputs based on what it has been built and trained to do. It can be impressive, fast, and useful, but it can also be wrong, limited, and misunderstood. The better you understand both sides, the smarter your view becomes. Let us talk about something many people get wrong. They think AI means a machine truly understands the world the same way a human does. That is not always true. Many AI systems are very good at giving useful answers or predictions, but that does not mean they think like humans. They work differently. They process data, they detect patterns, they respond based on training and design. Sometimes the results are amazing. Sometimes they are flawed. This matters because some people trust AI too much while others fear it too much. Both reactions come from misunderstanding. AI can be strong in some areas and weak in others. Knowing that helps you stay balanced. This balanced view is important because hype can be dangerous. When people hear too much excitement, they start thinking AI can do everything. Then they become disappointed when it makes mistakes. On the other hand, when people hear too much fear, they may reject useful tools that could help them save time or improve work. So the smartest path is not blind love or blind fear. It is clear understanding. That is what this video is really about. Let us imagine a person from 10 years ago suddenly walking into today's world. They would notice many changes, but one thing would stand out fast. Machines now seem much better at handling language, images, suggestions, and decisions than before. They would see phones that answer spoken commands more smoothly. They would see apps that predict what users want. They would see writing tools that generate text. They would see image tools that create pictures from simple prompts. They would notice how online platforms seem to know what people will click, watch, buy, or listen to. That person would probably ask, what happened? The answer would be AI became more capable, more available, and more deeply connected to daily life. And that brings us to another reason everyone is talking about it. AI makes people feel two opposite things at once: power and uncertainty. Power because it gives ordinary people abilities they did not have before. A person who is not a designer can now create images more easily. A person who struggles with writing can get help organizing ideas. A small business can do work that once needed a larger team. A student can get explanations in seconds. A creator can brainstorm faster. That feels powerful, but the same tool also creates uncertainty. If one person can do the work of three, what happens to those jobs? If anyone can make realistic text, audio, or images, how do we trust what we see online? If students rely too much on AI, do they learn less deeply? If machines do more thinking tasks, do humans become mentally lazy? These worries are real, and because the power and the uncertainty arrive together, the topic becomes even more intense. This is also why conversations around AI often feel emotional, not just logical. People are not only talking about software, they are talking about their future, their value, their work, their children, and their place in a changing world. A writer may worry about writing tools. A teacher may worry about student learning. A worker may worry about job security. A business owner may feel excited about lower costs and faster work. A parent may wonder what skills children need now. A creator may feel both inspired and threatened. AI touches identity, not just productivity. That is why the conversations around it can become so heated. There is also a social reason people talk so much about AI. Nobody wants to feel left behind during a big shift. When everyone around you starts talking about a new tool, you begin to ask questions even if you were not interested before. You do not want to miss something important. You do not want to be the last person to understand what others are using. This fear of being left behind spreads attention very quickly. One person tries an AI tool, then tells friends. A worker hears management mention AI. A creator hears competitors are using it. A student hears classmates talk about it. A business hears other businesses saving time with it. And suddenly, people who did not care yesterday now feel pressure to learn at least the basics. This is how massive shifts spread, not only through technology itself, but through social pressure. People copy what others are doing, especially when they think it may affect success. That is why AI conversations are growing fast on YouTube, on social media, in classrooms, in offices, and in the news. The more people hear about it, the more they feel they should understand it. And the more they try to understand it, the more they talk about it. It becomes a loop. But here is something important to remember. Big public attention does not always mean full public understanding. In fact, many people talk about AI without fully understanding what it is. Some use the word AI to describe almost any smart software. Some use it to scare people. Some use it to sell products. Some use it because it is trendy. That is why clear thinking matters. You do not want to just repeat the noise. You want to understand the reality underneath the noise. And the reality is this: AI is a broad term. It includes different kinds of systems that do different kinds of tasks. Some AI tools recommend songs, some detect fraud, some help self-driving systems understand roads, some generate text, some analyze images, some help sort data, some answer customer questions, some translate language. When people say AI, they may be talking about very different tools. That can make the conversation messy, but the simple core stays the same. AI is about machines doing certain tasks that usually need human-like thinking. Now let us connect this to your own life. Maybe you think AI is mostly for tech experts or giant companies, but look closer. Have you ever used a voice assistant? Seen suggested videos that match your taste? Used map directions that predict traffic? Typed a message and seen your phone suggest the next word? Watched a shopping site show products you may like? Used translation tools? Opened an email inbox where spam is filtered automatically? That is all part of the AI story. So even if you feel new to AI, the truth is, AI has likely been around you for years. The difference now is that you are finally seeing it more clearly. That change from invisible to visible is huge. When something works quietly in the background, people rarely talk about it. But when it starts responding directly to them, creating content, answering questions, and changing workflows, it becomes a public experience. That is what pushed AI into the spotlight. It stopped being just an engine under the hood, it became part of the dashboard. Think about the first time many people saw an AI tool answer a question in a natural way. For them, it felt almost shocking. Not because machines had never processed language before, but because the interaction suddenly felt more direct and human-like. That experience made many people stop and think, wait, if a machine can do this now, what will it do next year? That one question opened the floodgates. Suddenly, people wanted to test everything. Can it write? Can it summarize? Can it code? Can it explain? Can it plan? Can it create art? Can it sound natural? And once millions of people started testing those possibilities, the world began talking nonstop. Of course, not all of the talk is smart talk. Some of it is hype. Some of it is marketing. Some of it is panic. Some of it is excitement from people trying tools for the first time. Some of it comes from companies trying to look modern. Some of it comes from people who want attention by making extreme predictions. You have probably seen both types of titles already. One says AI will make everyone rich. Another says AI will destroy all jobs. These extreme messages spread because they trigger emotion. But reality is often slower, more complex, and more uneven than headlines make it seem. Still, even after removing the hype, AI remains a major shift. It matters because it changes how tasks get done. And whenever the cost, speed, or difficulty of doing tasks changes, society changes too. Imagine if writing first drafts becomes much faster. Imagine if analyzing basic data becomes easier. Imagine if customer support becomes partly automated. Imagine if image creation becomes cheaper. Imagine if translation becomes more immediate. Imagine if searching through information becomes faster. All of these changes affect work, education, and competition. That is why serious people pay attention, not just internet trend followers. There is also a deeper reason people are drawn to AI. It challenges our idea of what makes humans special. For a long time, many people believed that while machines may do physical tasks, human thinking would remain separate and protected. But now machines are entering parts of life that involve language, ideas, planning, and creativity. That makes people uncomfortable, curious, and amazed all at once. If a machine can write a poem, generate an image, or answer a question, people naturally start asking deeper questions. What is creativity? What is intelligence? What skills matter most now? What makes human work valuable? These are big philosophical questions, not just technical ones. That is another reason the AI conversation feels so large. It touches our sense of identity. At the same time, this moment is teaching people something humbling. Human intelligence is powerful, but parts of it can be copied in surprising ways. Not all of it, not perfectly, but enough to reshape systems. This does not mean humans are becoming useless. It means the world is changing what kinds of human strengths stand out most. In many areas, the winning skill may no longer be doing everything from scratch. It may be asking better questions, judging better answers, thinking more critically, combining ideas, making human decisions, and using tools wisely. In other words, AI may not only change what machines do, it may change what humans need to focus on. That is why the people paying attention right now are not always the ones trying to become engineers. Many are ordinary people trying to understand how to stay useful, sharp, and competitive. They want to know how AI fits into real life. And that is the right question. Because the future may not belong only to the people who build AI. It may also belong to the people who understand how to use it well, question it wisely, and combine it with human judgment. So if you have felt confused by all the noise around AI, that is normal. The topic is huge. The reactions are intense. The changes are happening fast. But confusion is not a reason to avoid learning. In fact, it is the best reason to start learning. Because once you understand the basics, the fear goes down. The hype becomes easier to spot. And the whole subject starts to feel much more manageable. And here is the good news. You do not need to understand everything at once. You do not need to learn complex code tonight. You do not need to become an expert in machine learning. You just need a solid mental map. You need to know what AI is, why it matters, where it shows up, what it does well, and where people should be careful. Once you have that, you are already ahead of many people who only repeat headlines without understanding the real picture. So let us bring this first section together in one simple thought. People are talking about AI so much because it has moved from hidden systems into everyday life, because it seems powerful enough to change how people work and live, because it creates both excitement and fear, and because it raises deep questions about the future. That is the center of the whole story. AI matters not because it is trendy, but because it is becoming part of the real world in ways that touch millions of people. And this is only the beginning. Because once you understand why everyone is talking about AI, the next step is even more important. You need to understand what AI actually is in a simple, real-world way. Not the movie version, not the scary version, not the overhyped version, the real version. Because when you finally see how AI works at a basic level, why it seems smart, and what it is really doing under the surface, a lot of the mystery disappears. And when the mystery disappears, you can start thinking clearly. You can stop guessing. You can stop feeling lost. And that is where this topic starts becoming truly useful for you. So keep watching, because in the next part, we are going to break AI down in the simplest way possible. No hard words, no confusing tech talk, just a clear explanation that will make you say, oh, so that is what AI really is. And once that clicks in your mind, everything else in this video will make far more